Let me read to you a passage from the 4th chapter of St. John's Gospel, verses 43 to 54. It's the Gospel for Monday of the 4th week in Lent. St. John writes, "After 2 days, he left for Galilee. Now Jesus himself had pointed out that a prophet had no honour in his own country. When he arrived in Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him. They had seen all that he had done in Jerusalem at the Passover feast, for they had also been there. Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. Unless you people see miraculous signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe. The royal official said, Sir, come down before my child dies. Jesus replied, You may go. Your son will live. The man took Jesus at his word and departed. While he was still on the way, his servants met him with the news that his boy was living. When he inquired as to the time when his son got better, they said to him, The fever left him yesterday at the 7th hour. Then the father realized that this was the exact time at which Jesus had said to him, Your son will live. So he and all his household believed. This was the second miraculous sign that Jesus performed, having come from Judea to Galilee. That's from John chapter 4, verses 43 to 54. And what does it suggest to us? Well, at the heart of our gospel passage today lies the issue around which, in the sight of God, the prospects of man and the world hinge. I refer to faith in the person of Jesus. This is the central issue of life, the life both of individuals and of the whole of humanity. In the opening sentence of our passage that I read earlier, St. John refers to it, observing in parenthesis that Jesus himself had pointed out that a prophet has no honour in his own country. This detail by John illustrates our Lord's constant preoccupation and perspective. Will people have faith? The tragedy of many in his own country was that this faith was not forthcoming. Around faith hinged salvation. And our Lord looked for more than numbers of people coming to him for healings. And this is illustrated in what our Lord said to the royal official who approached him with the request that he come and heal his son who was close to death. Our Lord's response, Unless you people see miraculous signs and wonders, you will never believe. Our Lord was looking for a faith in him that did not depend on their seeing signs and wonders. An obvious example of the faith he was looking for is shown in the instances given in the Gospels of the call of his first disciples. They did not see signs and wonders to follow him. Rather, they met and came to know him, the person of Jesus. In the same Gospel of St. John, from which our passage today is drawn, we read in the first chapter of John how the Baptist pointed Jesus out to 2 of his disciples. They left John the Baptist and began to follow Jesus. Our Lord stopped, turned, and invited them to accompany him. They stayed with him for the rest of that day, and they believed. The next day Andrew went to his brother Simon and told him that they had found the Messiah. Our Lord called on Philip to follow him, and the same thing happened. Philip went to Nathanael and told him they had found the Messiah. There were as yet no signs and wonders. The first of our Lord's signs was worked after this at Cana in Galilee. This is the faith our Lord is looking for, one that may be greatly helped by signs and wonders, but not dependent on them. As it turns out, the royal official who approached our Lord in our gospel passage today had true faith. to our Lord's challenge that he would not believe unless he saw signs and wonders, he simply responded, "Lord, answer my prayer. Come down before my child dies." Our Lord tells him to go home, for his child will live. And we read that he believed the word of Jesus and went. He did not see anything there and then to confirm our Lord's power, but he believed his mere word. He had faith in what our Lord said, and on his way home, news was brought to him that his son had recovered. The upshot was that he and his household believed. Presumably, the man and his household must have persevered in their belief and must have become active members of the early church. But there is a further detail about this man and his family. Not only is he shown in the gospel passage as an example of true faith in Jesus, but he is a reminder that all, from any and all walks of life, are called to faith. The man was a royal official. We're not told to what court he pertained to. Perhaps it was the court of Herod. We are told in the Gospels that the wife of one of Herod's stewards was among our Lord's disciples. She assisted the apostolic band out of her own means. And elsewhere in the Gospel, we read of a centurion whose faith our Lord highly praised. He turned to the crowd and said that he had not seen its equal in all of Israel. Our Lord's disciples came from tax collectors and very ordinary folk, but also from court officials, the leaders of the people such as Nicodemus, and the likes of persons such as Joseph of Arimathea. The detail that our man in today's gospel was a royal official reminds us that all men are called to faith in Jesus. It also reminds us that the presence of believing Christians in all walks of life is as God means it to be. It means that the work of witnessing to Jesus is to be carried out at every level of society. The church, consisting as it does of Christ's faithful, is made present at all spheres of society by the presence of her members. Through their witness, Christ is made present there. Let us cherish our gift of faith, and let us nourish our faith on the person of Jesus, contemplating him day by day in prayer and spiritual reading. To this faith in Jesus and to this closeness to him all are called, whatever be their position or work in the life of society, whatever be their profession. Just before he ascended into heaven, our Lord commanded his disciples to go to the whole world and make disciples of all the nations. Whoever believed would be saved. Faith in Jesus is the heart of life. And the mission of the church, and therefore of all of us who are baptized, is to bring the Christian faith, which is to say, to bring Christ to every facet of society.